internet travels, but we are back home and we are getting ready to discuss chapter 3. I decided to come back today instead of tomorrow. So if you got this notification, well, hello there. Thank you for joining me. My name is Sylvia Hubbard and I am author of over 60 dark romance suspense books, and I am founder of Motown Writers Network. If you have not started the live storytelling, join me at sylviahubbard.com and click on the blog tab, and you can start finding it there, or you can go to the sidebar in the blog tab and click there, or go to the shop tab and collect the password and go from there. But if you do know and have joined me, we're going to be talking about chapter 3. And we are, if you don't know what the book is about, his, his substitute wife, my best friend. So basically, it's about Spencer, who decides to help her friend get a promotion at her job by accepting to be the proxy wife to her boss. And that's basically the premise of the book. And we are discussing chapter 3. This is a live story and it's posted Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then on the weekends, I'll have um, reader reactions and question and answer questions that readers have from there. So now that we're discussing 3, and you can always go back through my other videos to see 1 and 2 reactions. Now that we're on 3, we are getting into the meat and potatoes of the story, and that is because we want to basically bring the reader in that the journey has been accepted. If you're following Joseph Campbell's storyline, then this is where we should be at, that she accepts the journey, the new journey. And that is why I called this chapter Meeting Mrs. Parsons. And that is her boss's vice president of the company that her friend works at. Not her boss's, her friend's boss. She's the vice president. So, and that's Delaney Parson. And so this is in this chapter, Spencer meets Delaney Parson, who tells her that she does have stage 4 cancer. And yes, she really is sick. I'm answering that reader question. Yes, she really is sick. She is trying to, um, before she dies, Delaney wants to make sure her husband is happy, and she wants to bring in I'm sorry. She wants to bring in a substitute to her husband while she's alive, so her husband doesn't feel like he's cheating. And once she dies, she doesn't want him to feel close yourself off to the world when there's just so much to be. So she's making this ultimate wife sacrifice, and so the premise is kind of unique in terms of how I'm doing this. I'm enjoying it, but the readers had a lot of questions. So, what you will remember from this chapter once you read it, and if you haven't started reading it, you can always visit my website. Go to sylviahubbard.com/shop, get the password access, get the link so you can then go on to the story. Um, my notes are over here. Sorry. So, in and I'm giving spoilers away. So if you don't want to, you can stop this live and go and read it, and then come back and then I'll answer any questions you put down in the comments. So Spencer faces a very morally complex proposition by Delaney. She can't tell Ramona what's going on, her best friend. She can't tell her what's going on, and she has to accept this. She has to be all in. There's no halfway in, at least for 96 hours. Delaney is asking just to spend the weekend with them to see how it progresses and then go from there. Due to Delaney progression in her stage 4, she's trying to hurry the situation up because they've been trying to do this for years. It's not worked out. And Delaney thinks that this time is going to work out because she feels that Spencer is perfect for this position. Delaney is desperate, and you get that from chapter 2, but you really see the urgency in chapter 3, where Delaney is basically telling Spencer, I have no more time left. This is the last hurrah, and I want to make this work. And I know it's going to work because she feels that Spencer is special. She's trying to manipulate the situation as best she could. Of course, money does not work on Spencer, and that's where she's having the problem, because she's usually getting what she wants because of her money and power. And but you can feel like this undercurrent of manipulation. Okay. Okay. Spencer's internal struggle and curiosity drive the narrative forward. And because Spencer was raised by her grandmother, who was deeply embedded in the church, um, we see that she has a lot more internal struggle than just most people in this situation. We could easily say, hey, we could accept this and for 96 hours take the money and go. But because Spencer does have a moral conflict to how she was raised, how she wants to be perceived, and just who she is, it's a difficult thing. So readers have asked and probably will ask, why does Delaney believe Spencer is uniquely suited for this role? I can't answer that without giving like huge story spoilers. But she just knows she's perfect for this role, not only in the office but also personally for her husband. Um, how will Spencer's involvement be kept secret from others, especially Ramona and her workplace? Well, that's what the NDA is for. NDA, yeah, that's what the NDA is for, is to basically tell Spencer she can't discuss this with anyone except Mr. and Mrs. Parson. She has no problem with that. It's just that she's going through a lot of conflict keeping all this to herself, and with her not uneducation about just other, well, it's more of her uneducation about with other people outside of the church. She doesn't know how to deal with all of that. And character depth, what are Spencer's deeper feelings about her own needs, desires, and boundaries in this situation? Well, you have to really read the chapter to understand that she is going through a huge conflict for all of this, and that she wants the best for she wants more best for Ramona than for herself. And that, I think that's where the reader can see, that's where the biggest conflict for them will lie, is that she's thinking more of everybody else except her needs and her wants and her desires. She's not really thinking about herself. And that's another thing I wanted to bring out in this book, is how we as women basically do that a lot of times, because we don't care about what we desire. We just care about what everybody else's desire. um the last, oh no, it's two more questions. How much does Ramona know, and what are the risks to her if Spencer refuses? Well, she might lose her job. Ramona might lose her job and might not be included into the merger. Spencer feels that she owes her friend a lot, and she wants to help her friend out because she has kids, she has a family, she's settled. Unlike Spencer, who's all alone in this world, she feels like she needs to make this sacrifice because of what Ramona has done for her. And what is Mr. Parsons' perspective on this arrangement, and how does he feel about Spencer? And that's where chapter 4 comes in. That's where chapter 4 comes in, which you have to wait till Monday morning when it drops. So I hope you do join me on this live storytelling journey. You can read the book as I write it. Make sure you catch up, and once you catch up, bring friends involved and come in and join his substitute wife, my best friend, and find out what happens next. Find out what's going to happen, on the journey. So I'm really excited about for you to join us and see what's going on. So, yeah, catch me on the next video, or join us at sylviahubbard.com/shop. Get the password link and join us. I'll also have it down in the description if you're listening on the replay. And thanks for joining me today.